I have so many interests, you know, from fashion, from makeup and beauty to music, and I just never know where I'm going to be in 10 years. But I know that I just kind of take one step at a time, and each opportunity has a time, and just try to show up as best as I can as myself. Hi, my name is Rebekah Aladdin, celebrity makeup artist, and you're watching The Glam Gap, brought to you by Clinique. I reached out to a friend of mine who I knew did photography, and he was like, no, I'm not doing photography anymore. I'm actually moving on to film. And I have this project that I'm working on. It's independent film. I think you can help me with it. So he had called and asked me to be a makeup assistant on that film for a few weeks. There, I met a really great friend, and I worked under her and assisted her. And that was kind of like my first intro to the actual movie industry. From there, I continued to work on like small music videos. The lead actor in that movie was Lance Gross, and Lance had a photography hobby that he liked to do on the side. And so later on, we collaborated, and I was able to do a lot of makeup for many of his shoots. And that's kind of like where I think I developed my style the most, and gave me a little jump start in terms of a platform to share my work. So my creative process is possibly a little different from others. I really like to think of makeup as a bridge. Unless you're doing a beauty shoot, I think that makeup is really just one detailed aspect that is supposed to work in harmony with the other details in order to create like a really amazing look. I like to know what else is going on the body, what's going on in the mood, in the room, things like that. I like to know colors. If there is a specific mood in place or a story that we're telling, and I like to basically draw from those things. I think a lot of times, unless you're doing an actual beauty shoot where like makeup is the sole focus of the look, I like to use makeup to marry the wardrobe and the hair. Ultimately, what kind of moment is this? And then I know how much room I have to play with in order for the face to make sense. I like to highlight the features that my clients already have and make a more polished look, whatever that may be for the moment. On some ends, it's a little bit more muted. On some occasions, it can be a little bit more dramatic, but regardless of where we end up on the spectrum of to natural or drama, my clients will always have a look that represents themselves. So it's not transformative, it's still very much the essence of the person is present. And I like to do that because I like my clients to feel confident in themselves, and I want that confidence to stay with them as opposed to feeling like they're in someone else's shoes when they're in glam. I've managed to build my own personal brand by prioritizing professionalism and a standard of quality in my work. So one thing that is very important to me, even though we are in these casual spaces, right? Sometimes we're in people's bedrooms, bathrooms, hotel rooms, whatever it may be. Our work is creative, so a lot of times people, I think, get a little too comfortable and they think it's not a professional space, but I think professionalism is even more important in these personal spaces. You overhear things, you witness things, and you're also in someone's physical, personal space. And I think professionalism is a very important thing to have in this position. And that's something that helps to build my brand first, is just my actual one-on-one interactions with my clients. I build a reputation with them. I gain their trust, their dependability, and that reputation will lead to bookings. And I think that's how the brand is built. Social media plays a small part. I think social media plays a part in highlighting my brand as opposed to building my brand. It's more of where, you know, I receive my flowers for the work that I've already done. But the brand is really built in the room, face to face, literally, with the clients. To better support artists of color, brands can give us the same opportunities that our counterparts have. I think it's about not just having us on the creative level as makeup artists, hair, nails, etc., but also bringing in representation on the decision-making level. So what are your executives like? Are they somebody who can speak to us and to have another voice and representation at that level? There is a lack of diversity when it comes to behind the scenes, and my hopes moving forward is that we would see more Black people in spaces with equal opportunities for when it comes to like brand partnerships and sponsorships as well, not just when it comes to the creative side and like collaborating. I think that having these brands use their platform in order to magnify Black voices, magnify Black stories, and give them the same opportunity to create and collaborate that they would our counterparts.